What's up, guys? This is your boy Krusty, and I'm back to talk about the status of all my vehicle projects and what's going on, why I haven't uploaded any automotive related videos since I decided to change this over to an automotive channel. To answer that, that's really easy. I'm trying to get a GoPro to film with. Right now I'm filming this on my phone and it has an absolutely horrible set of cameras, and also like I shake really bad, so that's why one of them videos was really shaky. When I show what I'm about to show, it might be shaky. I apologize for that. I'll try my best to keep it still. So that's basically what's keeping me from doing it, is I want to get a GoPro, probably at least a Hero 11, because from what I was seeing, that may or may not have been when they introduced the Steadicam thing, where it like took the shake out of it. That's really the main reason why I want that. And it's been getting kind of hard to afford that, you know. As I've stated before, I don't have a lot of money. I just live here by myself, so all the bills fall on me. And I keep on getting myself into more and more projects, as you'll see here shortly. I'd had a GoPro Hero 11 saved at one of my local stores to remind me of how much it was, and it was pretty affordable. I could have got it. And when I had the money to get it, I went back to the site to make sure it was still there so I could go pick it up. And apparently they stopped carrying the Hero 11. So now it's like I gotta get a Hero 13, I think it is. When I price those out, those are anywhere from $300 to $400. I think I've seen them up to $500, depending on what you get with it. So really, all I want is just a Hero 13 with a sizable card, you know, for the memory. So that's why I haven't been uploading anything automotive related. I think that's about all I got to talk about as far as that now. I do have a few things that have changed with my projects, so at this point I'm still not quite sure what I want to do with them. One project I just picked up recently, which you'll see here in a second, that's kind of what made me decide to change some things like the Subaru. I think I'm going to be getting rid of the Volkswagen. I'm pretty much giving up on that. I'm just going to scrap it. I'm going to use that money to pay for the new project that I did get. And I think the car that I'm sitting in now, which is my Dodge, the Shadow convertible, that's the one that's kind of up in the air. I still have the basic idea of what I want to do, but the main thing I'm stuck on, which may or may not be changing my mind, is what drivetrain I want to do. Do I want to do the one that's in it now, or something else I'll talk about here in a little bit? I guess that's enough talking about that. Let's just go ahead and show you what I got going on. You guys already know about this car. Let me see. Will it zoom in and out? Okay, I just want to make sure I was out enough. So you guys already know about the Subaru. I went ahead and painted it purple just because I was getting tired of it being like black and white with all the black fading off. I did pull the interior out of it because I was going to try to build a big stereo in the back, and I wanted to run those wires to the back because I was going to put my battery back there. I was actually going to put two in there. But as you'll see here in a second, things have changed pretty drastically with this car, and you'll see why here in a second. Really, I've just been trying to get the thing running here lately, and I haven't put the coilovers back on it to get it dropped down because, well, to get it tuned, I probably need to be able to drive it potentially, and I don't want to deal with the coilovers right then. I don't want to talk about this one just yet, but I just wanted to kind of update you where I've been, what I've done to it, which is not a lot. And the reason why all the changes are going on is because of this. It's a 1990 Dodge Omni. It's just a base model. And I actually got this one from the same guy I got this car from. There's some things I'm not too happy about with this car, which is me being forced to do some things that I probably shouldn't have to do, but I'm going to need to do them anyways. And let me explain what's going on with this car. I'll show you a few things and why this car is the determining factor on why this car has changed. And maybe that car will change. We'll see here in a minute. But, so let's start off with, why does it have a blue roof and a gray hood? Well, it was like all the paint had kind of come off there, and it was basically down to bare metal and starting to rust. So I sanded it down. Same thing with the roof. I sanded it down and just used some spray paint that I had. It was originally the blue color to cover so it didn't rust anymore. The gray is on there because I was trying to figure out what color I want to paint this car. I was thinking originally like a mint green. Sorry about the shakes. I was thinking about originally like a mint green, but because I don't like spending a lot of money on paint jobs, and I'm pretty much just going to do everything with Rust-Oleum like I did this one and in that one, I couldn't find a mint green that I was happy with. It was too light. One color I tried, which was this one right here actually. Just realized I had it sitting there. Modern Mint. This color was too light, too pastel, and in direct sunlight, let me go ahead and sit down for a minute so I can hopefully stop shaking. In direct sunlight, that green almost appeared white, and it was so bright that it actually burnt my retinas. Like when I went out inside after painting it, everything was like green, and then I got into a certain light and it was like blood red. That's all I was seeing for like 10-20 minutes. So I decided to mute it down a little bit. I tried that. It's smoke gray, the one that has the little 5 tips. And I was like, that's pretty close to Nardo gray. And this thing would look pretty clean in Nardo gray with like black accents. It's got the little what is that, lip spoiler. And it's actually got the matching side skirts for a Shelby GLH. Not the S, the GLH, just the GLH. And so decided on doing that kind of Nardo gray kind of look, right? Let me show you some of the issues, and you could already probably see I've done one modification already. So let me go ahead and pop the hood. Upon popping the hood, you'll see it just has the stock 4-cylinder in it. However, this head is actually the one that came off of that car originally. That car's been V6 swapped because the original motor kind of blew up, and that's the original head from it. Reason why my original head is on it is because the guy that I got this from was trying to do a dual red cam neon, or not even a dual red cam, the single cam neon head swap. The dual red cam has been proven, tested, and works, but nobody's ever done this one. So he was trying to be the first to do it. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to put it back to stock because I have plans for this car. One of the things about it is airbagged. So it's got, I think it's the, I forget, airbagit.com or something. It was the universal air bags on neon struts right there. And then in the back, you'll see they're sagging way down. It's just got air shocks in the back. And you might be wondering, why do I have round headlights? This is an Omni. They got square headlights, as you can see. Well, the guy lost the buckets, so I don't really have them. So I decided, you know what, let me be custom. I already had these for my Volkswagen. Why not just switch it over to round headlights? I'll get some Chevy bezels and modify these to fit the round headlights. I do have some new the amber turn signals here, but I'm gonna recast those in like as clear of a possible, so I get those like clear corner look. And I've got something I'm thinking about doing with the grill, but I haven't decided how I want to do it yet. It's probably gonna do something similar to that grill, how it's just open, maybe have a mesh behind it. As you can see, in order to clear for that intake manifold, the guy I got it from cut this section of the radiator core support out, which means I currently don't have a way to hold the hood shut. So I'm going to come in here with some 1x1 and rebuild this whole thing right here, which I'll probably actually come in here and cut all that out too. That way I can make mounts for those headlights. While I've got this off, let me set this over here for now. While I've got this off, I figure I'll show you. I'm going to be using the original radiator from the Shadow. This is a 5-speed. I'm halfway considering converting it over to the automatic because of what I have planned. I do have to come in here and replace that motor mount because he cut it to make room for the other head. Same thing here. I want to put air conditioning back on here, so I'm going to have to put my bracket on it. I guess when I fabricate the mounts for all this stuff, I'll go ahead and use at least the, what do they call it, the AC condenser from the Shadow to remake a mount for it here, even if I replace it in the future. I don't know how easy it's going to be to see the modification I've already done. If you know anything about these Omnis, you know these bumpers stick like way out here, and this gap, this thickness right here is pretty much the gap in between the grill and this back part is usually right around here, so I tucked it in really hard. It's not finished weld. Let's see if I can get in here. But I did cut it, and I just got it tack welded together in like 2 spots right now, so it's still got to be finished. And I'm thinking about coming in here. That's the downside to having this phone, is not much storage space, so it just cut off because I ran out of storage space. Anyways, I forget where I was, so I'll just go on with it. It does have the wiring harness. It's not crazy butchered, but there is a couple spots where it's got some cuts in it. Also, this is my original ECU out of the convertible. He had lost it, or whatever the situation was, so I think I'm going to replace the entire body harness from front to back with the one out of the convertible from the original 4-cylinder. That way I know that that harness works with this computer, and it already works with this motor because it's the same motor that was originally in there. The only thing is, it was originally an automatic. This is a 5-speed. This isn't a very strong 5-speed. From what I understand, this is one of the weaker ones. I think I'm gonna come in here, tap this lip down and weld it, because I'm not a fan of how that just looks like it could lift off. And I'm just putting this motor back to stock. This head does have the PT Cruiser lash adjusters in it, because that was just a mod that I always like running. I like getting rid of as much vacuum as I can. I do have that high amp alternator that's going to go there. And like I said, this is basically just going to be a stock motor, because I'm going to build a base car out of this. Nothing crazy. I'm going to do 310s. I already have the whole entire sound system. I just got to build the speaker box in the back. Moving on to the inside. Oh, by the way, one thing I do have to do still after tucking this in is I've got to trim these like right along here so it sits, you know, against that. And I might even just make a fiberglass cover that goes over that whole thing to make it look like it's, I don't know, maybe painted body colored and all that. I think this is going to stay. What I am considering is, I noticed that along right here above the top of the grill and the headlights, it follows this same line. So I'm thinking about doing one of those Tesla Cybertruck style full length light bars right in that place. It's just a thought, haven't decided yet. I'm missing the mirror over there. I think he said it broke or something. So I'm just probably gonna shave them and then do some kind of cool thing with, like, maybe put like a camera here facing back and then small screens on each side of the dashboard. As I come in here, you've got the factory seats. Don't know if I'm gonna use them yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do. The dashboard is kind of lacking. I'm thinking about either highly modifying this dashboard or something. As you can see, he's pulled out the heater controls. He says he still has them, but he hasn't found them yet. So I don't know. I'm kind of considering cutting this whole area out, maybe doing the double din stereo there, or some kind of like Tesla style dash or something. We'll see. That's the original. I think it's like a din and a half there. Not quite sure what this switch is for. Might do it for fog lights if it's not hooked up to anything. Or maybe that's for the rear window thing, because there's a wash and an off and on. Not sure. Not really sure. He did take the steering wheel, so looks like I gotta buy one of those. I'm not sure if this dash is staying in. I might custom build a dash because the stereo that I want to put in here. I'm also going to be doing custom door panels. This is going to be a sound system car. So I'm actually going to pull the back seat out, which is actually in pretty decent shape. A little bit of stains, but actually I don't think there's too many rips in it. So anybody needs an Omni seat that's, what is this, like a gray or whatever, I might be willing to come off of it. The doors don't really like to open from the back. He gave me new door handles and latches. I got to do something with the latches because they're just not opening from the outside. Might need to do some trim, find that out. But I think I'm gonna just build a big, what they call, if you're not familiar with sound systems, in this area, I'm gonna do a B pillar, 6th order bandpass for 310s. I know that's overkill for 310s, but I just want to see how much output I can get out of 10-inch subwoofers, and not a lot of them. I don't even have a lot of watts. It's like 1400, 1700, something like that, whatever the amp puts out. So that's that. Let me go get the keys and I'll show you the trunk. Walking back here to get to the trunk, let me show you a little something, just to so you can hear the knock on the roof. I don't know if you can hear that. Got a lot of work to do. I think you could even do it on the doors. Actually, that's not as bad. Okay. Trunk, I mean, it's basically just a big back window. I'm not going to be putting a bunch of sound pressure back here anyways, so let's get this trunk open. Bear with me a second, this is kind of interesting. There we go. Hey, it worked. So, this is not the stuff he gave me. This was the stuff I already had. I'm going to do an aluminum 5-gallon tank, 2 Viair, I think these are 480s? Yeah, 480Cs, one on each side. I forget what brand that is, but I got a block style valve for the front, back, side to side, the whole action. Those were the valves that he originally had in it. And he just had this big old 12-gallon monstrosity sitting in there, taking up the whole space. So I wanted to free it up, make it look a little cleaner. I've got this sitting on some 1x1 right now, just kind of mock up. This is going to be one of the first things I actually need to do to this car, even before I pay for it, because that's the other thing, is he's letting me make payments on it. So it's not paid for yet, it's not 100% mine. So I'm not trying to touch it too much right now, if that makes any sense. I don't want to spend any money on it, but I do have to do this. I've got the airline right up there in the front seat, some switches. I'm going to get all this plumbed in and working. because if need be, I need to be able to move this car. Part of the reason why I put that up on that right there is I'm thinking I might be able to fit a small battery under there, maybe even two, just for extra grunt for the stereo and the electronics. So I wanted to raise that up above it so I could put maybe some batteries in there, kind of like I did in the Subaru, which you'll see here in a minute. But yeah, that's basically the whole car. I was looking at these. Originally I was going to keep them. They're Saturn, I think SL2 wheels, and they don't look too bad. They kind of fit the GLHS look because that saw blade look, and I think they're 15 by 6s. I'm trying to remember what I think it's 165 45 15 is the size. So it's got a slight, very ever so slight stretch to it. And it looks good. It always did look good. But I think I'm going to 5-lug swap this because it's 4-lug. And one of the things he did do was he put big old rear disc brakes on it from a LeBaron. Problem is, and I don't know if I can see it in there, I don't think I can. In order to do the LeBaron brakes, because the LeBaron's a 5-lug, he had to have those rotors re-drilled. And I don't want to do that every time I want to replace a rotor. So I think I'm going to just use the parts I got, which is the hubs for the front off of the parts car, which I actually have on the Volkswagen right now. I'm going to take all that off before I scrap the Volkswagen. And then I'm going to use the rear hubs off the parts car so that I can convert it over, because everything should be the same. So I'll get the 5-lug swap done, and it's looking like I'm probably just going to put these wheels on it, because I like the way they did, and I did a Photoshop of these wheels on that car, and I kind of like the way it looked. But I'll probably paint match the lips on those wheels to this gray color, because I need to make it look a little less flashy, if that makes any sense. Again, there's that missing mirror. The front doors open up pretty good. Back doors just do not want to open from the outside. Also, you can see I'm gonna have to do something about the door windows, because this one's not as bad, but they're kind of loose in there. I'm gonna stay with the no bumper look on the back. I like that. I got to give him his tag back. I think I'm gonna make a mold of these tail lights and pour them in clear, because I just want to. As with any hatchback I get, I think I'm gonna make, can I visit? I can't see it in the screen, but right there, I might get a little sticker that says blinker fluid, because it's right above the tail light, kind of. Other than that, it's in pretty decent shape, I guess, but I'm a little mad. Well, I don't know if mad's the word. Disappointed. There you go. I thought it was in better shape when I offered to buy it, so I'm kind of feeling a slight bit burnt. But we'll get her up and running, and better than ever. She'll look pretty badass, and hopefully sound really killer. Let's get on to the Subaru. Before getting onto the Subaru, there is something I forgot to mention about the motor. I have to pull this motor out and rebuild it, because when he was doing the head swap, one of the things you have to do to make these neon heads work on these motors is you have to plug the block on the oil passages and then run external lines. He's already plugged the holes, so this block to me is no good. I'm going to pull all the internals out because they seem to be in good shape still. I have a spare block in the room. I'm going to just buy new bearings and rings, put it together, hope for the best, clean this head up, run this head, new gaskets, new timing belt. Hopefully it works. My goal with this car is to build it as cheap as possible. I do not want to spend crazy amounts of money on this car. I just want to get it built and enjoy it. This car, might as well call it Money Pit. I invested like $14,000 into it before I stopped counting, so there's definitely more than that into it, and it still looks like this. Pretty much done with this build at this point. Originally I was going to put the stereo system in this car, and when I got the Omni back there, I was like, okay, that's the one it's going into. So I'm thinking about making this one like a quote-unquote daily driver slash track car. I'm half considering pulling the center differential out, welding it up, and making it rear-wheel drive so I can maybe go to drift events. They tend to have those every, I think it's Friday night, down at the Road Atlanta track, which is not too crazy far from me, so it'd be kind of fun to do that every now and then. So with that being said, other than the possibility of welding the differential in the center and making this rear-wheel drive, this car is basically done. It just needs a tune, and I might go in and clean up the paint job because it is spray bombed, and I want it to make it look custom. I do also still have the wide body kit that I need to put on it, so I still got some body work to do. But as far as build is concerned, I think this is pretty much it. I probably make a lightweight version of that dashboard to stick in here that'll hold basics, maybe a stereo so I can listen to some radio. I'm not going to put nothing more than a couple 6.5s in the doors. Just a basic radio so I can listen to some music. I got to make mounts for the ECU up under the dashboard, a couple other things, and just tune it. And then it's done. That's what I'm doing. I do got to make a box right there, like an air catcher, to make that a legit ram air, since the filter is literally, I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. So I was going to make a box to encase it in so it catches warm or cold air and just force feeds it into the air filter. And like I said, other than that, this is basically done. So you probably won't see too much of this car, except for just very basic things, maintenance. Possibly if I get to the center differential, I might do a video on that. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do videos. I might just film myself working on it and do a voiceover. We'll see. Once I get an actual GoPro and can get some quality video coming in, I'll learn my style then. But that's basically the update on the Subaru. Basically finished. Needs a tune. Just a couple odds and ends to finish it up. And then that'll be it. Moving on to this one. Shadows. Dodge Shadows. This is my first convertible. Well, first factory-made convertible. I did cut the top off of one. This is number 6, and I have number 7 as a parts car in the shop back there. Now, it's always been on my plan to body drop this because I want it laying body on the ground. It's airbagged, all that good stuff. And because I have that parts car, I'm going to cut it in half and make a trailer out of it. So that's always been the plan. Here's the kicker. To do the body drop, I think I'm going to use the parts car's body so that I can build a frame up under it without destroying this one. Get it runnable. And then cut this one in half for the trailer. And then, body drop the trailer, all that. Because I want the trailer to match identical to the car. The reason why I'm taking these wheels off, because I like the way they look. I just need bigger. 18s, maybe 20s. I'm going for that kind of mini trucker look. But I've always kind of had this plan of, sorry, I don't know if I covered I've always kind of had this plan of what would this car look like if it was built today. So there's a lot of things I want to do to modernize it, like flush mounted windows, removable hardtop, which I really want to do in the forged carbon fiber look. Even if it's fiberglass with just one layer of forged carbon over the top of it, just to get the look, because I like that look. Got to tuck the bumpers in. Even though the bumpers look okay, I think they'd look better if they were more tucked in. Change over to LEDs and stuff for like the little blinkers and stuff. I might even get rid of those or have like a wraparound or something. I'm still in the design phase for that. It'll be wide body, but not crazy noticeable, because being that I want to, you know, run a body drop car with like maybe possibly 20-inch rims, instead of trying to narrow wheels or find the right fit, I'm just going to buy what will fit and then modify the body around the wheels, because I want that kind of really tight fitment, but I also want it to tuck in there real good, real smooth. Headlights, I do want to do something custom there. Not quite sure if I want to go projectors, LEDs, something. I'm really digging the whole cyber look, so I might do a light bar on this one as well. Just haven't figured that one out yet. I still want to keep the basics of it. Like I still want to have that same Shelby grill. I still want to have this bump here, so I'm thinking this bump, instead of just being on the left side like this, I might carry it up here and carry it all the way across the hood, so it's just one big bump. This car has never, since I've drove it, had wipers that worked. So I'm just gonna take all this out, plate the whole cowl, just make this smooth, give me a place to go into the flush mount window, and then maybe figure out something that I could do there for hiding, well, I don't know, electronics or something. Interior is probably going to be very custom dash, maybe like a Tesla style dashboard. This is definitely getting the removed mirrors with the cameras like integrated in right there. And basically, let me kind of show you what I got going on here in the dash right now. Right where you see these vents here, I think I'm going to replace these vents on each side with small, basically the size of my phone screens that will then display the cameras for the mirrors. Similarly, this whole dashboard will probably get replaced with just a massive vertical screen similar to a Tesla Model S. I might even do two, maybe have one smaller one there, maybe about the size of a double DIN radio, that will house the rear camera, so it'd be like a rear view mirror, and then the rest of that will just be infotainment and heater controls and stuff. This car is going to be wild because I'm going to be starting to get into making my own electronics, relying heavily on Raspberry Pi. So this will be, I'll try to figure out a way to make that electronically controlled through the touchscreen, have all my radio stuff in it, everything related to controlling the car here, maybe even tuning the car. This will get replaced with just a long format screen that'll display the gauges in a LCD TV style fashion. Don't know what I'm doing with the steering wheel just yet. Haven't really thought about that. Custom door panels, of course. Those are the speakers that I want to do. Those are the CT Sounds Meso 3-ways. They're like the highest end ones that they make. They sound amazing. I'll probably keep this one here in the door and maybe move these two up here on the A-pillar facing towards the driver, or just in general the passengers. Currently I just have a little put together sound system, 210s, just to have something to bump with. I'm still probably going to do the same setup there, just covered up. There will be like a tonneau cover that goes across his back here. It'll probably be permanent with like one of those like waterfall drop down things right here in the seat into the console. Custom console will be built. Not sure about seats. Maybe those will be custom built. Probably won't have the little headrest. They'll be just about there. I do have the ES body kit that matches those bumpers, so I got the side skirts as well. I like the way they look, so they'll go on there, even though it'll look like I'm cheating with a body kit. I'm going to do something custom with LEDs on the taillights to make them look stock, but definitely different. I might get rid of that and go over to a light bar. Hell, I might even build something that comes in here, like a cyber light bar type thing, or maybe even right here in the trunk. or something. I'll figure that out. Where this one is kind of like I don't know what to do. And before I get into this, let me go ahead and empty my camera for the third time just so I can talk about this. Okay, so as I said before, this car has been V6 swapped. It was originally a 2.5 automatic 4-cylinder. The 4-cylinder motor, what happened was the chain that drives the balance shafts snapped, and part of that got up into the combustion chamber on, I think it was cylinder number 4, bounced around, put some pits in the head, which I have to try to clean up, and it busted the top off of one of the pistons. So pulled that out. It's actually sitting in the backyard waiting to be torn apart. It has partially. And I put this in. I've been driving it for, about 2, almost 3 years now like this. So here's where my I don't know what to do comes up. The goal has always been to build this motor, not so much as like it's going to be the fastest thing in the world, but I've always had the goal with getting a Hellcat level power to weight ratio. That doesn't mean 707 horsepower. That means get this one to put out as much power as it takes to get the same power to weight ratio as a Hellcat. Doing that conversion, I figure that this motor needs to put out 350 wheel horsepower. That is very easy on this motor. People have done way more on this motor with hardly any work. Problem is, I hate that transmission. Electronically controlled 4-speed automatic. Horrible transmission. Horrible, horrible. But it's hard to find a 5-speed. I do know where one's at, but I got to buy a whole car to get the transmission. I don't even know if it's still there, honestly, because I haven't talked to the guy in almost 2 years. However, let me go over what my plans were for the motor. Obviously, clean it up, reseal everything. I was going to build a 6-to-1 header, right? Got the 3 that'll come over here just like this is right here. It'll come up over here. Somewhere around in this area will meet the merge collector. And the 3 will come over here, merge collector. And I wanted to do it the kind of rotary fire deal where as it goes around, it goes in order of the firing order, which on this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As it's going in order. That's what smooths out the sound and makes it kind of. And people like to use the word F1, but that's not really it. It just revs really snappy. One of the things I want to do also, stepped headers. I want to take advantage of everything that people say makes the F1 sound. Stepped headers, 6-to-1 header. I found a guy on Instagram that's making this like cyclone looking header. Merge collector. Costs way too much for me. So I'm going to try to make that myself. I'll figure out a way to do it. And once it gets there, it'll probably have a, what you call those things? I'm having a brain fart. Not a normal flange, but the one with the clamp that goes around it. Having a brain fart right now. Somebody will put it down in the comments maybe. But I want one of those. And it'll go down that way. I'll probably have what's called a megaphone. FMU or Fluid Motor Union, they make them. So I'll probably go 6-to-1 into a megaphone. Then I'll go back, probably 3.5-inch or so exhaust to the back. And then I found some guys on YouTube. Some people know them. They built a Lincoln Continental with a Triton V10 that they put double over cam heads on, and that thing sounds insane. And they broke down how to make a car sound like F1. Something about a magical, I think it was 500 hertz tone. That being said, I'm gonna do something similar to what they did with the muffler to try to get that tone to pitch up, because I want this thing to sound crazy. As far as getting the power is concerned, I was thinking of getting one of those LS1 Holley high-rise style intakes to make a manifold here with. I feel like it would look better facing that way, but I'm worried that if you have the air coming in this way, it'll get too hot from the merge collector. So I might face it out that way. And I'll put somewhere in here a picture of what I want the engine, or I should say the engine that gave me this idea. I'll put a picture of it in here. And basically I have a M90 supercharger on this one, M90 supercharger here, so twin supercharged with Eaton, or what, you know, like the Thunderbird style M90s, and that'll come up here and go here. I'm gonna put a that's probably where I had to spend a lot of money, is I'll get one of those LS style intake water to air intercoolers right there, so that I can run the water to air intercooler in it and have the little heat exchanger down here. That way it's just a short boost pipe going straight into the throttle. Well, I might not even do the throttle here. I might do a throttle on each side. I don't know how I'm going to do the throttles just yet, but I want two superchargers and the 6-to-1 header, basically making this what I am calling the Hellion package. So I'll be playing off that Hellcat, but, you know, smaller, Hellion. That was the original plan. I still want to build that motor regardless of if it comes in this car or not. Part of me being obsessed with this like cyber look, I follow Cyber Hooligan on YouTube and Instagram, and I just love that style of like mixing that Cybertruck influence into cars. I don't like the Cybertruck itself, I just like that Cybertruck influence. That being said, when you combine that with my desire to make this car look as if it was built today, it makes me want to call it the Cyber Shadow. Also, that being said, since everything futuristic and cyber related seems to be electric, part of me is thinking the very clean build would be to do a Tesla swap on this. Put a Tesla Model 3 rear motor in the back and a Tesla Model S front motor in the front. That's good for about 600 horsepower. That's more power than I was expecting. I was thinking a Tesla Model 3 long-range battery, mounted just like they do from the Tesla. Problem is, that's a lot of money. I found the battery on eBay for like $5,000. The motors are about $1,200 a piece. The controller to control it with the battery management system is like $3,000. So obviously this would be a very expensive task. But I eventually want to build something like that anyway. So what I'm struggling with is, do I build that with this car? Or do I maybe buy a Tesla Model 3 from like a salvage, you know, like an auction that's been maybe wrecked or something like that, cut the body off, and then build the Cyber Shadow around a Tesla Model 3 base? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Eventually that project will happen. I just don't know if it's going to happen with this one or if I just need to start all over. So that's basically the rundown with all my projects. Two of them are going to be very cheap from this point on. Like I said, the Omni, I don't want to put a lot of money in it. I think if I had to put a budget on it, I'm thinking, God, I'd like to keep it under $3,000. Not including what I still got to pay on the car, but just, you know, in general, I think it was going to cost me like $300-400 to rebuild the motor. You know, some of the equipment I need to do to make all the clear tails and all that stuff, that's going to cost a couple $100, plus the product to use it. Building the box and all the custom interior stuff that I want to do, that's going to cost a little bit. I got to get sound deadener, foam, all that stuff. So it's going to cost a little bit, but I'd love to try to keep it under $3,000. The Subaru, like I said, that's pretty much done. One of the options I had is if I decided to do the full-on Cyber Shadow build with the car that I have already, I might pull the V6 out of it because I can't find a 5-speed transmission that's really strong, and I might make an engine adapter and stick it in the Subaru. you know, because I've been having trouble tuning this thing, because tuning's expensive. I don't have that money, and it's kind of a steep learning curve, so I'm having a hard time tuning it myself. If I decide to give up, it might be motor swap time and go with just the stock V6 electronics, because I know how to trick those into boost. That being said, man, I don't really know of anything else I gotta inform you on. I got 3 projects. Obviously the Shadow, I don't want to put on a budget, but at the same time I know what my income level is, and it's not that much, so unless something rapidly changes or I get sponsors or something, I just don't see myself dumping a whole lot of money into the cars. I guess if things worked out here on YouTube and I could turn this into a full-time job, that could also change things. Yeah, so just let me know what you think about some of these projects. Obviously, the Subaru, and I almost called it a Volkswagen because I'm kind of making it almost look like one. The Omni, those are kind of already figured out, with the exception of what if I do the V6 in the Subaru, or possibly rear-wheel drive it to drift. The Shadow's the one that I'm still having deep thoughts about. Not quite sure where I want to head. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. I'd love to get some more out. Like I said, I'm just waiting to get a better camera so that I can give you more quality footage. And yeah, until next time, have a good day. Peace.